Hello, 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 and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Beverly Lucas, and I am the host of For the Love of Cooking Fridays. What do I do on Fridays? I try to show you how to make a meal, a dish, a dessert, a snack, whatever it is always better than the restaurant. It is always better than the restaurant. You have to trust me on that one. So what are we making today? Well, you see, I have an array of ingredients in front of me. We are making a Salisbury steak with mushroom gravy. So it's not my I was going through one of the magazines that you get from the grocery store. This is actually from Giant grocery store. And I was looking through it because I liked what was on the cover. And I saw this picture and I thought, that looks interesting. Then I went on to look at the ingredients and I put them all together and we're going to make this today. So I'm just going to have to put on my reading glasses to make sure that I am following the recipe. So first it says a 16-ounce package of white mushrooms. I have portobello mushrooms here and I have washed them. 1 pound of beef, which I have here, which was on sale. We have a half a cup of breadcrumbs, and these are seasoned breadcrumbs I am using. 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire, however you want to say it, sauce. We have that here. 2 tablespoons of some ketchup. We have some Heinz ketchup here. We have 2 large eggs. We have, they say 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, but I'm going to use some fresh, well, it's not fresh, jarred minced garlic. And some canola oil, but I'm going to use some olive oil. 1 small onion chopped, which we have right here. 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, which we have here. It says 2 cups of beef broth, but I have just 1 can of low-sodium beef broth. And then it says you can use it over mashed potatoes or rice cauliflower or something like that. So we're going to make mashed potatoes. So what I have here are 2 russet potatoes, my favorite, and we're going to cut these up into chunks and we're going to put them in some cold water. I have water already on, ready for them to boil. We're going to boil them until they are fork soft, and then we're going to take them out, and I'm going to show you how to make some old-fashioned mashed potatoes, not real smooth, but nice and chunky with butter and sour cream and chives. It is going to be so good. So those are our ingredients. This is what we're making. So are you ready? And are you with me? Are you really with me? Come on and go with me. Okay, so first our instructions say to take half of the mushrooms and to chop them up in a processor. So I have my processor here, and we're just gonna put them in here like this. If you don't have a processor, you could easily just chop them up very finely. Okay, this makes a lot of noise. I think that's good. Then to place them in a large bowl, which I have here. I'm just gonna put those in there. Now we gotta get them all out. We'll use this rubber spatula. Get all that goodness out. I love mushrooms. All types of mushrooms. My favorite is my mushroom soup, cream of mushroom soup, stuffed mushrooms. Oh my goodness. Chicken marsala with mushrooms. I could go on and on. So it looks like that. Now it says to take our beef, breadcrumbs, and 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. So that's the beef. It's 1 pound. Breadcrumbs. It's a half a cup. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. 1, 2. Ketchup and eggs. So how much ketchup do we need? We need 2 tablespoons of ketchup also. So see, I do know how to follow a recipe. 1. There's 2. Our eggs. Our 2 eggs. And what we're going to do is we're going to break them into a small bowl first. Because I learned that in home ec. Home economics, 8th grade. Oh, I have a shell in there. Just gonna take that out like that. If you get a shell in your eggs, you just use the shell to get the shell because it automatically will stick to the shell. Okay, that's our 2 eggs. Our garlic, which is right here. Gonna do about a teaspoon. Then with salt and pepper. So I'm going to wait until I have this mixed up a little bit. And yes, I'm going to use my hands. I already know that I don't want to overwork it, because if you overwork beef, it'll get tough. I don't need a book to tell me that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some pepper, about a teaspoon. And we're going to add some salt. I'm going to mix it up a little bit because there's nothing like beef that is saltless. All right. So it's going to be interesting taste with this added to the mushrooms. That was different about this recipe. I've seen recipes before, but that was kind of different for me. So it's looking like this. So let me wash my hands and we'll get on to the next step. Okay, so the water is boiling for my potatoes. So I'm just going to put those in there. And again, that water is salted. Okay, so what it says to do is to make 6 oval patties. Okay, our patties are all ready. I have 5, it said 6, but I have 5. And I have put in about 2 tablespoons of some olive oil in the pan, and we are just going to cook them on each side until they're brown. And we're gonna have 2 batches. You can see that. Gonna turn these over. Meanwhile, we have our potatoes that are done. So, rinsed off the water. I'm going to put about a half a stick of butter in the potatoes. And because I salted the potatoes, it shouldn't need that much salt. We're going to do that now. Mashing the potatoes. And because it's hot, they're going to mash right away. We're going to add a little bit of heavy cream. Just a little bit, maybe like 1/4 of a cup. We're going to add that in there. We're going to smash that around. So you know that gives it its silkiness. Okay, I had to stop because I was smelling the Salisbury steak. So we have that in there. And then I'm just going to add a heaping teaspoon of sour cream. Just to give it a little tang. And it's nice and smooth. A little bit, well, it's a little it's a chunky smooth. How about that? It's a chunky smooth. But I want to make sure all the ingredients are incorporated. it looks like this. So let me taste it to make sure it doesn't need anything. I'm just going to put a little salt and pepper. Just a little salt. And those are done. Okay, I took our steaks done, and now I added another tablespoon of oil, and we are going to now add those onions and mushrooms. And to this, we are going to add a little salt and pepper. Remember, mushrooms, one of the reasons why I love mushrooms is because it picks up the flavor of whatever it is that you cook it in. That's the flavor that it becomes. Because it has a very bland taste on its own, but it absorbs. So right now it's absorbing the flavor of the mushrooms. It's absorbing the bits and pieces left over from the hamburger or from the beef. Don't say hamburger. It was beef. Well, beef is hamburger, but you know what I mean. So I made the gravy exactly to the recipe. And as it's simmering, I tasted it and it didn't have enough flavor for me. So what I did was I put in 2 beef bouillon cubes that I had to give it some flavor. I added about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of sugar, because you know I put sugar on everything. And now I am adding some A1 steak sauce. I just need a bit more flavor. I need a more depth of flavor. And I think I'm gonna add some thyme. I have a few thyme leaves here. I just need a depth of more flavor. And the depth of flavor can come as you are layering it. So those additions, I'm sure, will make a big difference because I need layers and layers of flavor. I do not like it when it's flat. So although this is a good recipe, the taste, the flavor was flat. That's what I would call it. And so this is thickening up, and as soon as I'm gonna let it simmer for about another 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna add the Salisbury steak into here, and it's gonna soak up all that goodness. We have all that gravy. It is going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay, our gravy has been simmering, and I'm just going to gently place these back in. I'm gonna try to get them all in. They didn't shrink very much, that's for sure. Let's get this big one in. Nestle that one right there. And what I'll do is let it sit for a little while, and then I'll give it about 5 minutes on this side, and then about 5 minutes on the other side, simmering. It looks delicious. Delicious. All right, here we go. Look at that. With our mashed potatoes, I put a little bit of extra butter on there. Got our mushrooms. And now we are going to go ahead and taste it, and it's nice and tender because I let it simmer on both sides. That is good. It kind of reminds me, and I was thinking about it when I was making it, It reminds me of meatloaf in some aspects. In a lot of aspects, actually. Aside from having the mushrooms. It's delicious. Now let me try the potatoes with a little bit of gravy. Simple mashed potatoes. Then with the garnish, I noticed in the picture that they over garnished it with the scallions. So I did the same thing, but now I see why. Because it adds to the flavor. So, I don't want to keep eating on camera, but I am going to eat once I say goodbye. So I'm going to say goodbye. I remind you that you have been watching For the Love of Cooking Fridays. Again, my name is Beverly Lucas. I am the host, and it is my joy and my pleasure to bring to you meals that you can just make right at home. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you make this dish, give me an email, a message, or just let me know how it turns out for you. And as always, when you are cooking and you're following a recipe, make sure that you taste it along the way. It's not tasting according to what your palate likes. You can add a little, as I did today. Added a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and made it taste exactly the way that I wanted it to satisfy my palate. So you always have to remember that when you are cooking. Until next Friday, I am signing off. Bye-bye.